Watch out, kitty. Yes, I hear you crying. Here you go, baby. What's the matter, Meower? What's the matter? Watch your head. Watch your head, kiddo. Watch your head. Oh, man. So I was bored and decided to stream again. Because why not? Because why not? So, as you know, I pretty much just talk about Iron Man. But, and I guess this is sort of related. What's this? Okay. There's a DC character, rather. I don't know why I said Marvel. Who's kind of similar to Iron Man. Known as apologies for that slip of the tongue there. I don't know what I was trying to say. Known as Blue Beetle. Now, I know very little about Blue Beetle. I know that it's basically the same thing as an Iron Man suit, but much more advanced. Hello, Shiver U6E. How's it going? Thank you to whoever gave me a like just now. Yeah. Blue Beetle is kind of similar to Iron Man. From what I understand. Now, I didn't see the movie for Blue Beetle. But it looked cool. Now, if I'm not mistaken, one noteworthy difference between Blue Beetle and Iron Man is that the suit is pretty much in control of things. Like, you know, Iron Man obviously is the one that's in control of his suits, right? It does have an onboard AI, but you know, Jarvis is not the controller of the suit, right? And I know that there's two Blue Beetles. One being the inventor of the suit, and the other being the successor. That's about all I know. Um, I think the suit looks really cool. What do you mean I suck? Uh, I think the suit looks really cool. Um, but yeah, I really don't know much about it beyond what I just said. Ironhide Swan, how's it going? Love that picture of Spider-Man. Um, Blue Beetle in a weird way kind of reminds me of, kind of makes me think of Spider-Man, but if Spider-Man was somehow also Iron Man. Um, has anyone here seen that Blue Beetle movie? Out of curiosity, and if so, did you like it or did you dislike it? Um, Steffi, hi. Um, Here's a potentially interesting question for you. Um, as you know, there are various tech-based superheroes that use a suit, um, giving them certain capabilities. Um, there's Ant-Man, there's Iron Man, of course, there's Blue Beetle, there's Steel, um, who else is there? I believe Booster Gold would also count. Um, I know I must be forgetting a bunch, but I can't think of them. Hey brother, how's it going? Just doing a random stream because why not? Um, and I thought I had an idea for a question to ask the chat, but for some reason I can't figure out how to ask it. Um, okay. I'll put it to you like this. If you were a comic book creator and you wanted to create. Oh, also, I'm sorry, I forgot about another tech-based superhero that has a highly advanced suit. Black Panther. How could I forget about him? Um, if you were creating a comic book character who who wore some kind of a suit, armor, what have you, or maybe even had a device used for crime fighting, that they invented, and it what would you do to set them apart from tech-based superheroes who already exist? So, like, let's say that you wanted to do a superhero who has a suit that's akin to Blue Beetle's or Iron Man's. What would you do to set that character apart from Iron Man and Blue Beetle? That's going to be my question for the chat. Um, like, I just remembered another one. Batman Beyond counts. Um, Gear from Static Shock counts, right? Um, who else? There's other heroes I'm forgetting about for some reason. Oh, Falcon slash Captain America Sam Wilson. Um, that's all I can think of off the top of my head. Doesn't look like anybody's particularly interested in the question I asked, so you know, we'll just leave that blank in that case. Oh, wait a minute. Well, that's not a suit. I just remembered a member of the Doom Patrol. Actually no, I just remembered two characters. I'm sorry. There's the Atom. Um and then there's God, I just forgot him. The Atom and there's a member of the Doom Patrol, but I don't know if he counts as a person in a suit. I also remember a member of the Justice League who appeared in Unlimited that was inside of a robot that was kind of like a suit, but it was like much bigger than him. Now, in answer to this question, I literally have no idea what I would do. Because at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do with a cybernetic suit that hasn't been done before. Maybe you could create a hero who has a suit like that that just um, simply protects them, has an advanced computer that allows them to, see in the dark, has infrared vision, has the ability to make certain calculations, but outside of that, it just boosts the person's strength beyond the normal human limits, and they mostly fight using like a melee weapon. Which I guess would pretty much be steel, at all, although I don't know how much tech is actually in that suit. How's it going? I see we have a My Hero Academia fan here, which is kind of on topic because I pretty much just talk about superheroes here. Um, how about I challenge you? All right. I do indeed. All right, I'm going to challenge you. First, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question and I'm going to challenge you. What is your favorite superpower? Now, that can be an ability that belongs to an anime character, a specific one, or it can be a more what's the word? Or it can be a power that isn't unique. Like if you said fire powers or water or ice or electricity, right? Um so if you'd like to take part in that, just tell me what your favorite like ability power uh is your favorite. Reading minds. Okay. Here's the challenge. Based on all the characters you've seen and or heard about that can read minds, what would you do if you were creating a character that had that power to make them different from characters who have come before? Basically, switch it up a bit. Okay. Well, I mean that's an interesting one. Um Here's another. What if they could read minds, but also anyone whose mind they've read, they can then see that person's future. but they have to be in that person's vicinity. Because here's the thing about mind readers, right? You have telepaths like Xavier who don't just read minds but can control minds, um, can make people see things that aren't there. They can actually use it to harm people, um, by causing physical damage to them, like their brains basically. Um, they can inflict them with pain, causing them like headaches, that sort of thing. But then you'll have characters whose power is literally just mind reading and nothing else. Um, but he can also conjure like illusions. Like he could make you feel as though you were in a deep fog, even though that's not actually happening. Um, he can also astral project and enter into another person's body, to use them as a vessel. So yeah, he can do a lot of stuff. Maybe there could be somebody who can read minds, but not directly. Like, and I know this has there's a character that has this power already. I just can't remember their name. If they touch an object, they can basically like see every person who's ever held it or used it. So then maybe they could take it a step further and read the minds or hear the thoughts of whoever held an item in their a specific item in their hands. My favorite anime, um, it's technically two, and the reason why I say that is because my original favorite anime, um, I still hold it in high regard, but it's it doesn't hold up as much for me as it used to, and that's Yu Yu Hakusho. Still a huge fan, but there's one arc in particular that I'm not a fan of. Uh, technically two, but one more so than the other. Uh, the one I now hold put in that on that position is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I consider that to be my favorite. Now there are other series that I have liked. I mean, of course, I used to be big into DBZ and all that. Not so much anymore. I used to be really big into One Piece. Did I say that I big into One Piece? Not so much anymore. Uh, Ironically enough, I did find out that there was a huge reveal that happened in this week's chapter, which I will, of course, not reveal because no spoilers from me. And also because this is not a One Piece channel. So, and please don't spoil what happened in the most recent chapter if you have read it. But yeah, I stopped following One Piece a year ago. I think consistently was when I stopped. I've seen Bleach. I like it. Um, it's one of those weird series where I don't care for the main cast, but some of the secondary characters are among my favorite characters ever. Um, I've seen Naruto. I personally believe that overall, even though I actually enjoy Bleach more than Naruto, I personally believe that Naruto is a better series overall. Same with One Piece. I think that Naruto is better overall, even given the negatives of the final Naruto arc. Um, um, there's some other anime series I've seen, but I don't know if well, I can mention them. I've seen a little bit of seinen, which is stuff like Berserk, although I've never actually seen Berserk. Um, it just doesn't interest me. I've seen Hellsing, the original anime, I believe all the way through. Not Ultimate, but the original. I've seen a lesser known anime series called Speed Grapher. That's a seinen. That one I really enjoyed. Uh, and it also has one of my favorite villains, like ever. Um, he might actually be my favorite anime villain, like ever. But I don't know. There's another character that might have taken that spot. That might still have that spot. Um, I I mean, I've seen Yu-Gi-Oh, which is an anime, so I'm counting that. I believe I've seen all of the original Digimon anime and the second series, as well as I think it's called Frontiers. Um, Digimon Frontiers. Um, an older anime that I would highly recommend is Wolf's Rain. So if you're looking for a new series, check that out. Especially if you are an animal lover and you're a big fan of wolves, you owe it to yourself to check that out. Young Bosch is among the main cast, and that's one of my favorite roles of his. Um, Crispin Freeman's in it. Guy who voices Itachi and um, Alucard in Helsing. Um, I can't think of. Stephen Bloom is the main villain in that series. Um, and speaking of, while I haven't seen every episode, I have watched at least some of Big O. Um, what else is there? I like Samurai Champloo, although I don't think I've finished that one. Um, What else is there? I mean, there's a lot of series out there. Thank you so much to all of you who pitched in and gave this stream a total of 5 likes. It is very much appreciated, and it helps out more than you may know. um, Now, nobody asked me this, and I'm not sure if you're still here, any, but while I haven't seen all or read all of My Hero Academia, I have read a little bit of it. And I just want to say that while I don't know how, the story ended, how it all unfolded, I think at least at one point I thought, again, I don't know what happens with the story. Shigaraki to me was at least at one point one of the best villains in all of shonen. Hands down. Better than Blackbeard. I mean, then again, what villain isn't better than Blackbeard? There are plenty of One Piece villains that are better than Blackbeard, just because, for one thing, they have screen time. Heck, speaking of villains, if you wanted another question to answer, tell me some of your favorite villains in... Doesn't just have to be anime or manga, can be fiction in general. I'm gonna wait to give people some time to answer before I do. Because for me, a lot of times the villains end up being the most the best part of a story for me. Some of my favorite characters are villains. Partially because they tend to be more complicated. They tend to have more going on with them than the main character, who's basically, I have a reason to fight, and that's, all there is to it. Obviously, you have your more simple villains like Frieza, although Frieza, is still kind of up there for me. Because he's just barbaric. Like, he's just vicious. He's brutal. A character can be as simple as the simplest character ever written, but if they're a villain, but if they're brutal, and there's like tension, a great amount of tension to be derived from that. That for me, um, makes that character deserving of being called one of the greatest villains. That to me alone can make a villain great. Their actions. Like, you know the old saying, actions speak louder than words? Good villain is not one who just sits back and lets their cronies do all the work. No, they get their hands dirty too. Um, and to some extent, I still find Frieza kind of frightening, which might sound a bit dumb, but just the overall presentation of him. Um, Especially for a series that's not, you know, not really graphic. To be able to pull that off in a series that's intended more for teenagers and not adults is very impressive to me. So yeah, go ahead and tell me what some of yours are. Would love to hear it. I get the feeling that, well, I'll be right back. Viewership went down. And it's only been like 37 minutes. Which has me wondering if I should consider ending this stream soon, because it's coming up on 40 minutes. And it was an unplanned stream, which went a lot better than I anticipated. Oh, man. Oversave official. How's it going? How's your evening and or afternoon, morning, day, depending on where you're from? I don't know what that is. I couldn't tell you what that is. But if it's a file that you're not sure whether it's safe or not, then I would recommend not doing so. Only ever click on a link that seems trustworthy. Well, if there's no virus, and then yeah, I mean, make sure it's not going to give you malware either. If you're able to. All right. Another question. Again, a random one. If you could have dinner with any superhero, not a date, could just be a hangout or, you know, a dinner to get to know someone, right? Um, who would it be? And oh, you live in Russia. Okay, cool. Um, my I have a friend who has a close friend that's from Russia. He's currently living in the U.S. Like we are. Why do you want to download the file? What do you think's on it, or what do you know is on it? I'm curious now. It's not explicit, is it? Like, is it a game? Is it like for a pirated version of a movie or something? Or just a video that you're trying to download? Is that what it is? Some kind of horror game? See, I don't really like to tell people what to do because, I mean, number one, it's their decision. Number two, if I'm talking to a kid, I don't want them saying something like, "You're not my father. You can't tell me what to do." Okay. Um, I want to be very careful, right? Because even though I am technically an influencer, despite being very small, you know, still a stranger, and well, yeah, you get the idea. Well, holy Toledo, that certainly happened. Oh man. All right. Uh, what does my stream have to do with that game? Just curious. Okay. I see. I see. So it's a fan made game. I'm guessing it's an entry in a popular series. Uh, I know about creepypasta. At least I know the term. I forget what it means, but yeah. Again, I'm not familiar with that, with what that is, sorry. I'll Google after stream is done, if I remember to do so. Son of a gun. Alrighty. Good night to you. And hope you have, well, yeah, a great evening, and hope that file works out for you. Until then, take care. Yeah, let's try not to. All right, folks. It's coming up on 50 minutes. I don't expect any more people will be coming to the stream. Been going on for a decent amount of time. Had some, in my opinion, interesting conversations, albeit maybe more, maybe, a bit a bit shorter than others, than some may have liked. But yeah. So, um, with all that being said, thank you all for coming to the stream. Um, all of you who liked, all of you who subbed, which I'm sure was at least one person. And uh, if you liked what you saw, please consider watching my past streams. Um, and maybe even spread the word, share it with people you know if you think they might get a kick out of it, get something out of it, find it interesting. Um, and then comment, like, and subscribe if you're watching this after the fact. And as is tradition for this channel, eventually I'm gonna I'm gonna find a way to record this as an outro to just play once the video is done. But um, the truth is, I am Iron Man.